I am calling to order our regular scheduled meeting of the Walker County Board of Commissioners on Friday, Thursday, March the 6th at 6 p.m. 2025. I will ask the clerk to establish a quorum, please.
Commissioner Blakemore?
Present.
Commissioner Askew?
Here.
Chairwoman Teams?
Yes, here.
Commissioner Hart?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
A quorum has been established. Thank you. Now we will move to the minutes from the February 6th meeting. Are there any discussion items from the minutes that was provided to the board a week ago? Then we need a motion then, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? The ayes have it. The minutes are passed and approved. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the chairwoman's report. It's a little bit lengthy, but I'll try to get through it. In my first 60 days, 2 months, my team and I have found approximately $1 million in savings, revenue, productivity, and unnecessary expenses. Such as, I am eliminating several revolving invoices for unnecessary services, like, for example, a $4,000 monthly expense to a lobby service that hasn't been used since 2022. That's a reduction in annual cost of $123,000. Gone. Also, by creating an accurate list of our equipment, vehicles, and properties, I am anticipating a percentage decrease in insurance premiums. For example, we have removed 17 vehicles that we no longer are in service, that we don't use. That's an approximate savings of $75,000. Gone. Excuse me. I plan to increase revenue by raising rent on properties that state entities contract with us to use. This has not been raised since 2013. An approximate increase in revenue of $100,000 annually. Done. Also, I am renegotiating higher interest rates with our financial institution as another form of increasing revenue. Potential additional $800,000 in interest to the bottom line. I'm continuing my search until I have looked under every rock within Walker County to find such savings and waste, get rid of waste. So just be prepared for more information as I learn more. So that's enough about that. In what is left of my time right now with you, I'm trying to hurry. I want to talk about several hot topics. First of all, litter and speeding. Litter is very bad across the entire county, 450 miles of roadside. While there is no mandate that a county budgets money for litter control, we are not required to do that. Mr. Askew and I are working on several ideas and concepts. Would you like to provide a brief? This is my time.
Very brief. Well, as I had mentioned at our last week meeting, we are gathering some information to look at doing some subcontract work and so we can get some better numbers on what it's going to take to get a grip on it. So we're looking at multiple options, but we'll be seeing some action very soon.
Yes, we are on it. It's taken a little longer than we anticipated
Yes.
because of hurdles that we didn't foresee, such as lack of labor and the cost of vending it out to a contractor. So we want to make the best decisions. In the meantime, I am implementing a task force. The first meeting will be on March the 17th at 5:30 in my office building. Anyone who wants to volunteer for that, please call my office and we'll get you set up. I already have
What time again?
3 volunteers already. It's March 17th at 5:30 p.m. I don't think anyone likes litter, so let's stop creating it for ourselves. Please think about your home and area around your house before you put out garbage loosely or where animals can get a hold of it. Think about putting a tarp over garbage that sits out before you can remove it. Don't be lazy or inconsiderate of your other people's property. Something new that's coming, the county will be initiating a fine on vehicles who do not have tarps when they enter our landfill. That procedure is being developed now and is planned to begin on April 7th this year. Regarding speeding, the county is adding signage and considering other ideas to implement on the county roads. Please note that we have no jurisdictions over city roads. Our county is very large, and I'm sure the sheriff's office is doing everything possible to reduce speeding. Unfortunately, funding and citizens' rejections to growing the employee base all affect decisions toward solving these kind of problems. My hope is that our residents and visitors will consider slowing their speed to save lives and keep from harming property. Next, I'd like to address the recent vehicle costs. There is misconception on how much was spent on vehicles last month. The vehicles I announced totaled $300,000. This board collectively spent $500,000 on all kinds of equipment, including those vehicles. There remains $100,000 in the SPLOST vehicle fund. And I want to repeat what I said in February about SPLOST. It seems like some folks have forgotten what SPLOST is. On the back table, when you came in, I have left a one-page document that tells you what SPLOST is and how it's used. So I encourage you to take that with you when you go home so that you can educate yourself. Because we're going to continue talking about SPLOST. So I want everybody to have that information and know what we're talking about. I am using fiscally responsible strategies to use the SPLOST funds according to the plan that was already set in motion in 2020 and 2021. Also, we will be selling unneeded vehicles in the upcoming surplus auction. It has not been scheduled yet, along with many other items such as old furniture, filing cabinets, chairs, etc. This will bring money back to the bottom line. Lastly, I will address what I've been warned to be as an ambush tonight against the salary adjustments that I made to current staff in my first month in office. As I make statements, I invite the current Human Resources Director, Hugh Delacruz, to further come up to the podium, if you will, Hugh, to help me further emphasize the importance of competitive salaries in retaining and attracting top talent. It is within the Department of Labor regulations for a job to be restructured, which involves salary increases or decreases depending on the type of work being reassigned. Nothing I have done is in violation of the DOL regulations. In addition, I use several resources to justify the salary amounts for these folks and their new roles, such as Indeed, Government.com, Glassdoor, and ZipRecruiter. In addition, before proceeding with my changes, I confirmed with the Finance Department, and our CFO is here tonight to confirm that the necessary funds were available within the budget for these salary adjustments. This was not an arbitrary decision, but a carefully considered move forward. Mr. Delacruz, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I have a few things that I would like to address. That's been an ongoing discussion in my department. A lot of these salaries are based on compensation that's across North Georgia. I use North Georgia alone, and the majority of the salaries are either below or they're at the standard going across North Georgia. And I'm not only using private entities, I'm only using government like Whitfield County, Catoosa, Dade, Chattooga. That's the only thing I'm coming in and using for these compensation packets that we're doing. When I came into this role as HR director, I looked across the whole board and I saw a lot of deficiencies in our retention due to the fact that a lot of these roles are not paid what they're worth. And that causes retention issues because if we don't pay what they're obligated or what they're worth, they'll go to a different county and then we gotta spend manpower and time, county's money, to get somebody in, onboarded, and back in that position. And when I do that, it's my goal as a director, HR director, is to look at the compensation across the board and pay them what the average is. And everything is public records. If you're curious about the salaries, they're out there. If you want to have a discussion, my office is open.
Mine is too.
I'm always there. And I will have a discussion if you want a one-on-one meeting with me, and we'll go over anything that anybody has.
I welcome the same.
But that's all I got,
Thank you
Chair.
very much. I appreciate your added comments. So lastly, in conclusion, I remain committed to ensuring the continued success of our workforce. And I welcome any further questions or discussions on this matter. While I understand that discussions around salary adjustments and other issues are important, it is equally important to focus on the work that truly drives this county forward. Our resources and energy should be focused on bringing in more revenue and finding innovative ways to cut waste, goals that will benefit the county and its residents. And I thank you for your time. Now we'll move on to reports. The chair will recognize our compliance officer, Alex, to talk about the pension plan for the employees of Walker County.
Hello, and you should have in your packet an actual summary from Forensi Benefits Law Center. That is a benefits firm that really has a lot of experience with ERISA, which was part of the defined pension plan. And they have provided there's actually 6 paragraphs that are attached to this memo. And the memo was sent to Judge Anderson and myself. Judge Christy Anderson is a trustee of the pension plan. And it actually delineates that we are talking about unfreezing, so that's in paragraph 1 in regards to the compensation, because the use of compensation for this plan has not altered since January 1 of 2013. So the current members of this plan have not had any raises. We have some people that are in significant salaried positions that are still being evaluated at $10 an hour for their pension. And so that's going to be unfrozen and start with the plan year that began January 1, 2025. So that will be for the actuary analysis that will be provided. If you move on to paragraph 2, we're going to clarify the participants that are involved in this plan, and also talk about early retirement, because prior to, with BB Highscale, who was our sole commissioner, at that time, an early retirement was only allowed as a lump sum, but there is an annuity that will be discussed in paragraph 2, and that is going to be amended so as to clarify exactly how it can be taken, because there's some different paragraphs that aren't clear in the current plan. It's going to also, in paragraph 3, clarify that it is the Walker County, the employees of Walker County, because actually the plan says currently employees of the Walker County Commissioner, which of course has changed since then. We're going to update to comply in paragraph 4 with statutory, regulatory, and other federal agency mandates. There is IRS mandates that we have to review because times have changed since 2013, so they're going to make sure that that's done for paragraph 4. If you move to paragraph 5, there are some kind of some different paragraphs discuss ERISA that don't discuss ERISA, and ERISA is the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. So again, there's some confusion in regards to that. That is going to be reviewed, and those parts that actually apply to ERISA are going to be removed so that there'll be consistency throughout the plan. And then there is going to be, under paragraph 6, an amendment prepared as based on these paragraphs that you have before you, and we are working to have that prepared and ready for you at the April 7th meeting. And between that, so from this meeting, 2 weeks from today, 6 o'clock at the Civic Center, Walker County Civic Center, any participants can please come. We're having a participant meeting in regards to this pension plan. Lincoln, so Vladimir is the Lincoln representative, he'll be there. And then also 2 representatives from Gallagher, the actuary analysis company. They used to be formerly Buck. Many people know those names. They will have representatives there as well, and they're going to have a Q&A. That's all they're going to do. They're going to answer any and every question that the participants have so that they're going to feel comfortable with what we're doing here and feel like we really are moving forward. So really the steps are right now, you're having this information. Please review it. If you have any questions, please get them to me. I will get them to council. We will make sure that the board is completely comfortable with what we're doing. Then we're going to have 2 weeks from today, the participant meeting, so we're in compliance with that. And then April 7th at the next meeting, we will be presenting you the actual amendment to unfreeze the pension plan.
So the meeting's on the 20th of March?
Yes, March 20th at 6 PM at this Walker County Civic Center, and all participants have been notified of that. Judge Anderson has sent out a notice and also asked for them to send any questions that they may have so that the representatives can be prepared to thoroughly answer their concerns and feel like they're a part of this. Do you have any questions for
One
me?
question,
Sure.
when you talk about the early retirement, the annuity and stuff, that don't, if they took their money and they're out of it, then it don't go back.
They're a different party to it. So this is actually for people that are currently in the plan, but as I said, there was some language in regards to early retirement that made it seem that you could only take a lump sum. And so it was just really, this is more to provide clarity in regards to that.
Perfect.
All right, awesome, thank you.
Okay, we'll move to public comment now. So, Mr. White, would you like to go first on our public comment? Okay. Remember to tell us your name and what.
Good evening, everyone.
What
Pastor
area?
White, Donald White,
Where do you live?
and Madam Chairman and commissioners. I'm here tonight representing the Old Hill High Alumni Association, Hill High School, which has been naturally since integration done away with in the middle 60s or in 67, I think it was. But I'm one of the old school individuals that we're making a request. We've already talked to the city manager and the mayor, but we're making a request to you all tonight for additional space at the Jennifer Salmon Recreation Building there in the Lowell Green Junior Park. The reason for it is because we have nothing tangible to, as far as our school and the things that we went through during those days. Our faculties, faculty members, long gone. But we wanted to, that additional space would be for a memorial, kind of like a memorial museum, where we will have some artifacts and things. There were some things that were at the recreational building, but they disappeared. We had trophies, we had pictures. Nobody knows what happened to them. I've gone down to the, this is years ago, but nonetheless, we want to start fresh. We have members who have personal artifacts, pictures, and we're going to contact some of the faculty members' children that might still be living. And we have a couple of teachers that are still, Mrs. Marsh and Mrs. Adair, they are still here. But what we wanted to do is to just recognize that's the past. But if you don't remember your past, you can't appreciate the future, and even where you are at this point. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
God bless
very much. All right, would anyone else like to have use the public comment time? It is a 5-minute limit, and please come up. And just remember to tell us your name and preferably where you're from, please.
I'm a Jim Pope from Villanelle, Georgia. Hey, last meeting, Angie, we got started talking about something and some confusion set in, and I didn't get my answer. Tonight I hope to get my answer. I thought it was a simple question. I wanted to know, did you agree that Shannon left you a zero balance debt for the county? Are we at zero balance debt now?
I'm very glad that you asked that question again this month. Thank you, because I do want to clarify that, yes, he did leave me a zero balance.
Okay. And is it your goal to continue maybe having a zero balance debt during your term here?
Of course, yes, there's no reason to have long-term debt if it can be
Oh.
avoided, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. I'm talking about long term,
Yes, sir.
not short-term. I think that's where the confusion set in
Yes,
last
right, that's
time.
what I just said, that the.
Okay,
donation
I
has
just
no long-term
wanted you
debt.
to verify this.
Thank you.
Huh?
Anyone else who would like to come up for comment? Tell us your name clearly so that our clerk can record it.
Ted Needham, Lafette. My name is Ted Needham. I stand before you today deeply concerned resident living adjacent to the site of proposed limestone quarry proposed by John Cross. When we first learned of the project, Mr. Cross assured us that mining would not extend below the water table and that the water quality would be unaffected. However, 2 independent studies, geological studies, have since revealed alarming facts that contradict these assurances. The studies confirmed that the proposed quarry plans to mine 75 feet below the water table. I have spoken with the EPD, and they indicated the quarry owners seem to indicate that if mining were not allowed below the table, the quarry might not be economically viable. In other words, despite promises of transparency and neighborly conduct, we were misled from the start. Moreover, one report states the property of the quarry limits are within a zone of the highest risk category of the Environmental Protection Agency drastic rating of 181. This most severe rating for groundwater is a pollution risk. Our region's water supply is derived by carbonated aquifer, a system porous limestone riddled with fractures, caves, and sinkholes, rendering it extremely vulnerable to turbidity and contamination. Furthermore, independent analysts by Petrologic Solutions confirmed the quarry site lies on a critical groundwater recharge zone that directly overlaps the outer management zones of our municipal water wells. Quarrying in such a geologically sensitive area risks both chemical contamination and structural instability, and therefore is surface thereby engaging our drinking water. Georgia law prohibits quarrying within 8 miles of a well or spring that supplies at least 50% of the municipality's drinking water. Both Lee School Road Water Treatment Plant and Dickerson Springs Water Treatment Plant fall within that radius. Many of you know Lee School Road Treatment Plant has already experienced severe turbidity issues, leading at times to shutdowns and to boil water advisories. Quarrying just 2.5 miles away, which is known to significantly increase turbidity, would be recklessly irresponsible. The Dickerson Water Treatment Plant currently is undergoing renovations is projected to produce 2.1 million gallons a day, thereby meeting the legal threshold that renders the quarry's permit a direct violation of the law. Folks, our water is not a commodity to be gambled with for short-term economic gain. It is a lifeline that sustains our family, our health, and our future. I urge all of you to take a stand and advocate to the EPD to deny any permit for the quarry, especially anyone that would allow mining below the table water. I invite all of you to look at the independent reports yourselves and decide for yourselves, is this risk worth taking? I sincerely hope we will not be saying, we told you so in a few short years. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate those comments. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in the public comment? Please, sir.
I'm Dan Waters. I live at the beautiful Blue Mountain Air Park, which is in the southern part of Walker County. Kind of a little bit of an unknown, just recently discovered area, I think, by some board members. Just to benchmark on what Ted just said, we are obviously pretty concerned with the potential impact that the rock quarry is going to have on what is a beautiful ridge line, which is where Ted lives. I live just down the valley from the where the rock quarry would be. It's a gorgeous area. Unfortunately, I didn't discover it in time to buy property up there because it's just a beautiful, beautiful place up there. That's going to be gone once the rock quarry comes in. Once they come in, that area is going to change drastically from potential for nice living to industrial. So what Ted brought up was interesting because the water issue It's definitely something that Walker County needs to be aware of. As you all know, we've been year after year, summer after summer in a drought. And NOAA is predicting a continued drought. So the water impact down the road is going to be significant, especially as they get into the water supply, which I think they'll do. But anyway, I didn't have anything prepared, just wanted to benchmark off what Ted said. He did a lot of research on it, and just want to make sure everybody knows that we at the Blue Mountain Air Park are quite concerned with the potential impact on our beautiful, beautiful place we live out there.
I've just got a question.
Yes.
Really. So what water authority serves your area?
We're actually on Lafayette Water.
Okay.
Most people around us are not, but we're fortunate somehow or other over the years we got Lafayette Water out to our subdivision.
Right.
So yeah, we would not be directly affected by the water. That's correct.
Is Mr. Needham, what water authority do you get served by? Okay.
Yeah, so we're not. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're not, but the wells are that they're building up there, yeah, and the water treatment plants will be directly affected by it. So just wanted to, I think that's something that you need to look at. Now, we know it's in the state's EPD hands at this point. Walker County just needs to be aware of it and aware of the impact that we're gonna have on that beautiful property up there that's gonna change pretty quickly. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, hey, thanks.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak tonight on any topic? Please, sir.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Chris Durden, and I live actually in the same area as these folks. I live on Highway 337. And this is going to take a minute or two, but I'll tell you a little story about my morning. Got out about 8 o'clock to open my gate for some folks that were coming in to do some work on my property. And I live on the highway, and as I opened my gate, I saw some movement over here, and there were two gentlemen walking north on the highway, and as you know, 337 down there has no shoulder. One was on the east shoulder, one was on the west, wearing hats, safety vests, COVID masks, and with sticks, but no bags to put the debris in. So the one walked up to me and walked by me, and I said something like, hey, how you doing? And he answered me in a language that I could not interpret. And I said something else like, what are you guys doing today? And he answered me again in a foreign language. And a gentleman across the street said something in a language I could not understand. I'm not multilingual, but it weren't English. So they went on their way, and where my house is, I can see approximately a half mile south on 337, and there was no county truck that might be shepherding prisoners doing litter pickup. There was no private vehicle parked on the road where they may have parked their own vehicle if they were doing community service litter pickup. There was no sheriff's department chaperone in sight. There was no other people on that potential litter crew picking up litter. Same with the north. I can see about a quarter mile, there was no sign of any life at all. So I called the sheriff's non-emergency number, and for some reason, like I've had on previous experiences, nobody chose to answer that number. It's just not unusual. The phone number shifted over to 911. I apologize for wasting their time, but I explained my problem. And the young lady was very nice, and she asked if I'd like to have a deputy come out and talk to them and then come to me and tell me what he discovered. Maybe they were legit, maybe they weren't. I said, yeah, I think I'd like that, just to be curious about who's in my normally wonderful neighborhood of Center Post. And I never saw the deputy. I don't know if he talked to these folks or whatever. They vanished from sight shortly thereafter. And so I started making a few calls around to the county offices. I called the commissioner's office, and I got some gobbledygook from somebody over there that told me I should probably talk to the probate department. So I called probate, and I got somebody's voicemail. I called the clerk of the court, and frankly, she couldn't get rid of me fast enough. So basically, I saw no deputy. I got in touch with nobody in any official capacity who might simply tell me if these were somebody on a community service sentencing alternative function. May have been, I don't know. May have been that they were foreign visitors to our county who had done something wrong and needed to pay off their sentence in a community service. That's all fine. But without information, you know, I have nothing to go on other than people I don't know, that I don't believe lived in my neighborhood, that I couldn't understand when they answered me, that were strangely wearing COVID masks and had sticks but no bags to put any trash in, and I didn't see any trash in their hands or in their pockets or.
Do you happen to have the phone number of that you initially called that said no one answered, just out of curiosity? I'm very concerned with what you're saying and disappointed that you've had to go through so many offices with the wrong.
Well, ma'am, it's not unusual, I'm sorry.
Well, it will become unusual for me and my staff once we get everybody in place. I've only been there 2 months, so.
I understand.
I appreciate you bringing it to my attention, though. I would definitely be talking about it. I'd just like to know what that number is. I want to make sure it's.
And, you know, it's a complaint, but it's kind of a mild complaint, but we are taxpayers and our taxes are not necessarily a bargain in this county. So we'd like to feel like we're getting proper attention and, you know,
And safe, be safe.
and I know there are people who make a nuisance of themselves and that's not correct either. So I try not to do that, of course,
It's
but.
not a nuisance. This is a very good subject for me to look into.
Well, you know, we've all seen on the news and we all know from whatever our information sources are that there are a lot of people around in all areas of our country. We've actually seen busloads of people go by our house
Wow.
going to other destinations.
Yeah.
But we all know that there are incidences that go on.
Yes.
And very often we see these folks on the news wearing masks and hats and
That's right.
other paraphernalia that doesn't seem quite appropriate for
I think
the
it's very
occasion.
prudent to be aware of your surroundings, for sure.
You know,
What block, approximately what block?
I'm south of Harrisburg Road. I'm dead center in Center Post.
So right south of Harrisburg?
Yes, sir.
And that phone number?
That I called probation.
Well, there was a number you said you called first that did not answer. Someone didn't answer.
Well, that was the sheriff's non-emergency number, and it shuttled me over to 911.
That's the number I want.
You remember what day that was?
Make sure it's
It
working.
was this morning,
This morning?
probably 9:30.
I'm just thinking, I want to make sure that the sheriff's non-emergency number.
I called 706-638-1909 at 8:12 a.m.
I didn't get that, honey. 706.
638-1909.
Okay, thanks. I just want to check and see if that's working. It may not
Right.
be In service.
And then I called your office at 921, 638-2929.
I'm sorry. Who is talking? I'm sorry. Hang on, hold on 1 second.
If you'll call 706-375.
Hang on, Billy. Hang on 1 second, honey.
Sir, that number doesn't come up when you Google the Walker County Sheriff's Office non-emergency number. So
You
you
got
could
it.
give me 1,000 numbers, but if they don't come up on my information source,
Thank you for that.
I don't know how to access
I'll
it.
look into it, I promise.
Please.
I would like to have your phone number, so I can call you back, if you don't mind to give it.
It's 423.
Okay, well, you don't have to give it out if you want to, but okay. Thank you.
645
Okay.
8624.
8644?
24. 8624.
645-8624. Okay, thank you so much.
That's fine.
I apologize that I have to get back in touch with you.
So my complaints, to be honest here, is that,
I know.
you know, the sheriff is a 24/7, 365 operation. If they can't answer a non-emergency number, you know, and the 911 people have important work to do. And I don't want to bother them with something that isn't important until it becomes important.
True.
But they were very nice and they were very supportive and helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
So frankly, I got no follow-up from anybody in the county government that I was trying to access for information.
You will get follow-up from me.
I got either no answer or a non-conclusive answer,
Okay.
or just, you know, get off the line, you're bothering me.
All right. Well, I hate to tell you, but your time's up.
Well, I thought that was my time to tell my story, and then we could discuss this.
Actually, it's public comment, and I'm choosing to discuss with you, but we don't, that's typically not what we do. But I wanted to discuss it with you because I want to get some detail for you so I can.
Well, I thought this was information that would be helpful to the neighbors in my area too,
That's
because
exactly right. Yeah.
we have people that we don't know. And we are certainly not trying to be non-inclusive or racist or hostile or anything.
Sure.
Of course, anybody is welcome in our area, but if we're polite to them, you know, we would just like, you know, sure, I'm here to pick up litter. You know, or I'm just a concerned citizen wanting to pick up litter because I think the roadside was unattractive or something. So, you know, not some foreign language that I don't understand, probably nobody in this room would understand. And frankly, it's concerning. We have a situation in this country, and I hope not in this county, that is out of line and out of control.
I need to give the floor to someone else who needs time to speak, so thank you. I
All right,
appreciate
well,
it.
obviously you don't take this situation any more important
She
than
takes it very serious.
I
We've got your
apologize,
information.
I apologize, I'm trying to conduct a business meeting as well, so we can only have 5 minutes, so that's what we allotted. Actually, we gave you almost twice that. But I promise you, I will call you back, I'm gonna look into it and we'll call you back.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Hold my breath for you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
If you'll hang on, I'll look up and ask this question, and I'll ask comments.
Sir, you got something about
hear an answer?
I'd love to hear something that makes some sense.
337 is a state
Is that
highway.
Make sure everybody.
337 is a
Who-
state
I'm sorry,
highway.
sir.
Sir,
Give us your
say
name.
your
Oh,
name,
my
please.
name's Robert Tate. I live in Lafayette. 337 is a state highway that's contracted by the state for litter control. Those Hispanics make up most of the crew of the people that they hire. They were on 136 today picking up litter as well. So that's where that is.
This was not a crew.
It's,
It was
it,
two
they put,
gentlemen,
I-
no chaperone.
they,
no
they
truck,
put
no
them
yellow
out,
light.
they put them out, and the guy drives away, and he comes back and picks them up later. If you go out here on, the bypass at 136, you'll see a trailer with a bunch of garbage in it. That's part of that crew. They were on 136 picking up litter today as well. So that's the answer to that. All right. So, I'm here to ask about, I know that development authorities and the county are separate. Like the Walker County Development Authority, Walker County Sewer Authority, those are different entities from the county. As the chairman, are you on the sewer authority?
I'm not yet.
Okay, so do you have any information on what impact, if any, the $2 million lawsuit that was just voted in favor of Chattanooga, what impact that's going to have on county taxpayers?
I know a little bit. I know it was $1.8 million and they paid it. The water authority paid it last week.
Oh, it's been paid?
Yes.
Okay.
They had it to pay it and they chose to do that,
Awesome.
not,
And what
appeal.
measures are they taking to treat water locally instead of having to contract with
I can't go into
Chattanooga
much
in
more
the
detail
future?
of that because my knowledge is very limited.
Okay.
I asked that question myself. That's the only reason I know the answer to that.
So you don't know if they're making any plans to remedy that situation where we're not relying on
I
Chattanooga?
believe they are.
That's
Please, Commissioner.
that's what they're, the building, the water treatment plant in Chickamauga, correct?
Yeah, there's a reroute going on right now, a lot of construction where they're actually rerouting
I've seen
from
that.
there back this way, Robbie.
So
to
that's
get
what
to the
that's for?
Chickamauga plant,
Okay,
to get it out of Tennessee.
all right, I appreciate it. So it's not gonna have any impact on us as citizens?
I think the hope and intent of that authority is right, no, that's right.
The hope is no, but we don't know. Is that what we're
We're
saying?
hopeful. We don't know today, but.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in public comment section? All right, we'll move on to.
Hang on,
Oh, I
you got a couple.
apologize.
Always. Ned Yates.
Easy, 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 easy.
I'm gonna start off with, we've had elections. The main thing was accountability, transparency, and truth. We have a lot of money that has been spent on new vehicles, proposing more now. I don't know, but to me, we don't have any transparency or accountability or truth.
apparently do not have a proper fleet management program. We don't know the mileage on the vehicles. We don't know the usage. Who uses them? Do they go home? With them? They're 24/7 use? We don't have that. Maintenance schedules. Apparently, it's not information that you can talk about why you're doing this. The repair cost, the validity. Is it cheaper to replace an engine and a transmission, ball joints, and run the car another few 100,000 miles or not? I don't know. No verification, nothing. Run it like a company, like a CEO would. And have a program that shows you what you're doing and why. You don't justify it. You just, we need a new one. It's worn out. Okay? That doesn't make good sense. Second, SPLOST. We're back to the theme. Transparency, accountability, and truth. There's a 5-year time frame, apparently from my understanding, if we don't use that SPLOST money, we have to surrender it back to the state. Now, during Shannon's administration, he talked about borrowing from the SPLOST. Well, and he paid it back. There's been no open transparency about what he did with that money. Did he pay interest if he paid it back? No information. You don't know. That's a breach of your fiduciary responsibility. You can blame it on the past administration, but it's still truth, transparency, and accountability to each one of y'all. And I'll close with this thought. When you do A and B, the proper management of the resources, and you reconcile the SPLOST, then you can use, which you're supposed to use, proper fiduciary responsibilities. I'm going to add the quarry. The gentleman made good sense. I don't know if he's still here or not. It's certainly true what he's saying. And I'll just say this. I'll agree with the gentleman. Apparently he's a new resident and from Center Post about the pickup. I got what Robbie said about it. Makes good sense. But y'all need to know about it. Each one of you, particularly you, Mr. Wilson, that's in your district. Y'all need to be accountable. You need to be transparent to the citizens. And the last thing on SPLOST is we talked about it the other day, you have the Hinkle Fire Station. Well, I go by every once in a while. When I go to church, I go by there. Sometimes I stop, sometimes I don't. There's a rescue. The last few times there's been a rescue truck with a battery charger on it, leaking stuff. There's a lot of questions. And I mentioned what BB made a comment back in 2016 we just hadn't really got around to putting any equipment in the fire station. That's been almost 10 years. Come on, fellas, let's go. Be truthful, transparent, and be accountable. Tell everybody what's going on. You expect we're not going to? Well, guess what? Your citizens demand it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in the public comment section?
Hey, good evening. Tina Gross. I'm going to get off track just a little bit. Because I know this goes live. If you Google the non-emergency 911 number to Walker County, it comes up as 706-375-7810. That is the non-emergency number to 911. Now that rings in directly to 911, and I promise the people that answer that number will be kind and won't mind you having a non-emergency issue and point you in the right direction, first of all. Second of all, before I get on my kick that I'm going to get on tonight and run out of time, we're talking about transparency. I just want to really give y'all kudos. Angie, I appreciate you opening up this meeting. You know, there's been some really vicious gossip in the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I just really appreciate our commissioners opening up this meeting and about the money we've spent and what we have spent it on and being transparent. And another thing, as somebody once said in the galley, SPLOST. If we don't spend it, we surrender it back. So I just appreciate your transparency with the money we spent. Now I'm going to get on who I am. Weekend before last, we had an awesome and amazing Vietnam Veterans Wall event at the Rossville Gymnasium. It was awesome, amazing, wonderful. We had approximately 300 people sign in, and each line consisted of sometimes 2 to 5 people per couple or family. So we had a large crowd. It was wonderful. Our elected officials came out and showed their support for our veterans. We had so many Vietnam veterans come out. It was an amazing event. And we held it at the Rossville Gymnasium because the Civic Center wasn't quite big enough to display 140 feet of Vietnam Veterans Wall at, how many pounds of cardboard, Randy? 400 or so pounds of cardboard. I mean, you won't believe what this thing took. So we put it at the Rossville Gymnasium. Let me tell y'all what, and I hit the podium, that's my pet peeve. I'm sorry. So, I'd not been to the Rossville Gymnasium before. Y'all, I was so impressed. It is a highway to the other areas of our county. They have new concrete, they have a new banquet room, there was a wedding reception going on there that night. It is a fabulous facility, taken well care of. It is under the care of our awesome, amazing Sarah Kruger, who manages the Civic Center and the gymnasium now. It was clean, it was wonderful, it was embracing, it was a wonderful event for our veterans. And I just want to thank our county for allowing us to do that. That was all Operation Outreach and Randy Pittman and Johnny Culpepper with the Walker County Historical Preservation Commission. Now, on another high horse, we had a great Desert Storm recognition dinner this past Friday night. The Lafayette Junior ROTC combined with the American Legion in Lafayette put on a great dinner. Robert Wardlaw catered. It is so awesome to see our county and community and our elected officials. Y'all are so awesome. Come out and love and show your support for our veterans. I mean, it's an amazing thing. So, on behalf of Operation Outreach, we have decided that since it is Community Service Month, and we have so many people that have that are litter bugs, and so many people that are complaining about the litter. So my little nonprofit has decided that on Saturday, the 22nd day of March, we're gonna meet at the Fieldstone Village at 9 o'clock. And we will disperse groups from there from 9:30 to 12:30. We will be dividing our county into north, south, east, and west. I invite you to contact me, 423-421-1081, if you know highly littered areas. We are going to disperse into highly littered areas in our community, and we are going to give back on Community Service Day to our county. So all of you that have problems with litter in your area, I invite you to join us to pick up litter in our community. We want to shame the litter bugs into not littering, okay? So man up, come out, join us. I'm gonna provide the contractor bags, the gloves, the water, and we want to clean up our county on the 22nd day of March.
Thank you for organizing that. We appreciate it. We'll be there.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
that
you.
so much.
Appreciate you.
I'm Randy Pittman, and I'm here tonight representing the Walker County Historic Preservation Commission. I'd like to touch a little bit on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. We was sponsors of that along with the Operation Outreach. Nearly 300 people signed in on our sheet. You know, that somebody's walking in the door about every 2 minutes. You know, that's pretty impressive. The only advertising that we done was on Facebook. Joe Legee's post, when he put the word out to begin with, it had 412 reactions and 324 shares. There was no negative comments. You know, that's refreshing when it comes to that. And the Walker County Historic Preservation Commission, we was proud to be part of that. Also, the Oak Hill School, while we were there, we're working to stabilize it. We raised about $250 to go toward the stabilization of that school. And then we got a quote back for the engineering on that school yesterday, or maybe the day before, for $15,300. So we're going to be out raising funds. So if you see us out, drop $1 in our bucket. We'll need it for sure. That's just the engineering phase of it. There's no telling how much it's going to actually cost to get it done, but it's on state property, so we're going to work with the state as well. One thing gentleman brought up a little earlier, no, I'm good, about people out in the community and their reflective vests and didn't know who they are. Well, Walker County, with the Walker County Historic Preservation Commission, are doing a historic research survey down in the Murchie Valley area. So there's people down there, they've been down there for a few weeks with Ardura, and they're doing the resource survey down there. So if you see them out there, they're legit. They should have their logo and everything on their vest. Joe has sent out messages on the Siren GPS, he's made Facebook posts. It was in this month's newsletter. So if you see them, they're legit, you know, so don't freak out. But anyway, if you see something, say something, but these people are legit. So I appreciate the commissioners coming out and supporting us at the Vietnam Wall. We had people from the city of Rossville, school board members, people from Murfreesboro, North Carolina. They was, you know, it was, like I said, just advertising on Facebook. It was a great event. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in the public comment section? Okay. Then we'll move on to unfinished business. This is the purchase order we brought to the board last time for the fuel system upgrade. Is there a discussion by the board about this item?
So I've talked to Rick Carr today and yesterday. I also talked to you about it. We got another price in for that we want to take a hard look at before we award that. So I would make a motion to table it a little longer. Rick said he's good on the fuel pumps right now. They're still operational. If we need to have a call meeting in a week or two to just get together and approve this, we can, but I would like to table it, make a motion to table it until Alex and her staff have time to look at it and make sure that everything's legit on both bids.
Okay, so you are making a motion to table this?
That is correct.
That has been made. Is there a second?
Are we tabling it till we get the information, or table it till the next meeting? To the next meeting, give you time to get?
No further than the next meeting.
Yeah, she was, okay, yeah, so I'll second that we table it to the next meeting and then have the information available then to make a decision.
All right. Is there any other discussion from anybody else? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say no. Motion passes to table it to no further than the next meeting.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So on to new business. Resolution R-019-25 to approve a list of roads for resurfacing in 2025 through 2020. actually, that should probably say 7. This is our paving list.
It should be for the summer of 25 and 26. It's a 2-year list,
that-
Carlin told me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this summer and next summer?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Okay. Last year, the county was able to resurface about 51 miles of road. That really just ended in February, this last month.
That's right.
That was done through a combination of splashed, T-splashed, and an LMIG fund. Splashed funds for road resurfacing has been exhausted. So going forward, we only have T-splashed and LMIG funds available. We receive about $6.75 million annually from T-splashed. So in order to stretch those dollars, because it's very expensive to pave, as everybody knows, we are proposing a 2-year paving list that would target roughly 70 miles of roads in unincorporated Walker County. The larger mileage number will potentially lead to more competitive bids from contractors because mobilization costs will be reduced for those contractors, and we'll be locking in a rate right now instead of 2 years from now. So I will ask the board, is there any discussion before we bring it to a vote? You may have any questions or comments?
So I'm assuming Carla's working on the bid package, just as we've always bidded, but the bid package will be awarded for a 2-year period instead of 1, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
He is not here with us because he is serving jury duty and is sequestered.
Federal jury duty.
Yes, federal.
And I would add too, I think that we all are aware, or just to make the public aware, that some of these that are on this list are dictated by that sewer reroute that we were just talking about, the road work that's being done. So just as we move forward with that, a lot of that is being dictated by the other projects. So just wanted to put that out there so you would understand
Thank you
that
for
as
that.
well.
Any other discussion?
That's a discussion I had with him. Once this is approved, he'll put the package out for bid. It's gonna be out 30 days, and he will try to have it ready. If we get the 30 days, Joe probably can clarify that too, because I know he was in it, but
Yeah.
I think they'll put the
30
bid
days.
package out. He said, once it's approved, he'll put the package out, then we'll be approving the contracts.
Yes.
Very good.
Anything else?
And some of that, he talking about, he bundled some of them because how he has to do the LMIG is like, he has to give them the whole, to get the money from the state for LMIG,
Yes.
he has to give them the roads that he's doing under
Right.
that money.
Right.
And we match.
It's a very
something.
tedious schedule he
Yeah.
has to follow.
We have to match something on that LMIG money.
Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Then a motion is needed from the board.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mr. Hart, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion to approve, the second motion, is from Mr. Wilson. Is there any further discussion needed?
No, ma'am.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Then the ayes have it, so it is approved for this list of roads for a 2-year contract, and it will be bidded. And we'll talk about that probably the next meeting. Thank you. All right, the next item to discuss is resolution of R-020-25 to appoint a member of the Alcoholic Beverage Committee. The person being appointed, the suggested person is Mrs. Joanne Leach from Rossville. I believe she's from Rossville. Is there any discussion before we put it to a vote?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Mr. Blakemore. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Mr. Askew. Is there any further discussion about this appointment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. It is passed with all ayes to appoint Mrs. Joanne Leach to the Alcoholic Beverage Committee. Thank you. Then we move on to resolution R-021-25. This is to accept roads in the Hawks Ridge subdivision for county. I think I saw Mr. Ben come in. Is he here? Does he want to speak? Would you like to speak to us? You don't have to if you don't want to.
If you need me to, I will.
I don't think it's necessary, but I am going to ask the board to have a question and discussion, so if they have it, I'll do it now. Do you have any questions or discussions for?
No, ma'am, I've talked to Carlin about these, and I've actually been up there when they've been doing some proof rolling, so Carlin does recommend we accept these. He has looked at them pretty closely. I think you agree, Mark?
I agree 100%.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So then a motion is needed.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Askew. Is there any further discussion on this topic? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. It is approved that the Walker County will accept the roads in Hawk Ridge subdivision by, well, immediately, effective immediately. Thank you. All right, moving on to purchase order 2025-00001115. I believe that Captain Anderson may be here, if you would like to approach the podium. We'll speak about this one, the purchase of the $293,326 purchase for 7 Durango Pursuit vehicles. And if you'll stay for the second one too, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Would you like to tell us about this purchase?
Typically, every time a SPLOST comes through, the sheriff allocates some of the SPLOST money to purchase vehicles through the life of the SPLOST. When we originally started, we could typically buy about 10 to 12 vehicles. Now, this is kind of what we can do because of pricing. We went with the Dodges for the main reason that they are cheaper than the Fords, and there's absolutely no other options other than Dodge or Ford now. So received a bid from Jenkins Chrysler and also another bid from a place in Cleveland, Georgia. And they were lower, but Jenkins said they would match the price. So that saved us about $15,000 off those 7 vehicles. Now we lose vehicles every year through attrition. We've had cars 180, 200,000 miles, which for our line of work is very unsafe. Just a few weeks ago, I had what few spare cars I had, officers were in them because all the other vehicles were in a repair shop. A couple of them, as soon as they got out, right back in. I try to save money on repairs through our non-serviceable vehicles by getting fenders, doors, whatever I can scrap off one to put an oven together, we'll Band-Aid it best we can. But we do need to have to add new vehicles to the fleet every year, because if we don't, vehicles go down, then officers are not going to have a way to answer the calls. So fortunately, Jenkins agreed to match the lower price. So from what he originally quoted us, that's a $15,000 saving out of SPLOST. So.
Okay. And I would like to, again, talk about SPLOST and how it's different, the 2 different SPLOST accounts. The sheriff's SPLOST is not the same as the county SPLOST. As we were talking earlier, there are 22 different categories that the administration back in 2020 designated for different things. Courthouse is on there, other buildings are on there, vehicles are on there, landfills on there. There's a bunch of different things that we use this SPLOST money for. So the sheriff's office has a separate one of those. It's part of the 22, and the county has a separate SPLOST account. So we're not digging out the same pot. And the sheriff does a great job of keeping up with his amount of money that he's got to spend. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Let's you state, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there any other discussion or questions for Captain Anderson from the board?
Just to add to what you're saying, Angie. So Chris, in the SPLOST allocation that you had X amount of dollars allocated in that for vehicles, correct?
Correct.
And that's where this money is coming from?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's not coming from the general fund.
Right, that's
yes.
yeah.
Does this exhaust what y'all had allocated, or
No,
do y'all have a balance on that?
We still have a balance for vehicles purchased next year, which will be the finalization of this SPLOST.
Okay. Very good.
So there needs to be a motion from the board then, please.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. So any other further discussion before we vote for sure? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the purchase request is approved. Now, on to the second one. You have purchase order 2025-00001116 for $31,000 to Paul Thigpen Chevrolet for a 2021 Dodge Ram. This is a used vehicle,
Correct.
so tell us about that.
The vehicles from Jenkins are all going to be for patrol or the court services use. They'll be marked patrol vehicles. This particular vehicle will be going to our detective division, and in particular, the detective is actually our crime scene investigator, so he needs a little more room to put things. We were able to find this truck with about 20, low 20s on the mileage, whereas the same truck probably would cost us closer to 50 if we bought it brand new. And realistically, patrol at the marked units, we'll put about 1 million miles a year department-wide. Admin side, detectives and stuff, they will not put that many miles on it every year, so plus we're getting to keep it local, keep the money here in county, so
Thank you for being fiscally responsible.
I try.
Is there any discussion from the board or questions for Captain Anderson? That a motion is in order?
Motion.
Motion to approve or?
To approve.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Askew. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it, and it is approved also. So thank you for spending time with us on the claim. Thank you. All right, moving on to the commissioner comments then. Mr. Blakemore, will you start us off?
Just appreciate everybody coming out. I think it's important to note that we're a legislative body. We're not full-time commissioners. We're not going to know if somebody's walking down the side of the road in our district. We're a legislative body with full-time jobs. Thank you.
Mr. Hart?
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Askew?
I do that.
Hey.
I was skipping right over you.
Moving me right on up. Yes, you did.
Sorry. Mr. Askew?
I just want to thank everybody, as always, for coming out and participating. Your comments are heard and are appreciated. And I would also like to challenge everybody to show up and let's put your money where your mouth is about the garbage. Show up and participate. And we can come in here and we can talk about it. Let's put ourselves to work and see where we can go there, working together as a team. And I would follow up with Commissioner Blakemore. It is very hard, as you all know, to know who is walking down the street. Ned, I'm sorry, but I want to address it to you because I want to address this because I felt like you were saying that we should know everybody that's walking down the street.
No.
And we can't. So I just wanted to make sure that.
I did not mean that.
Okay. Thank you.
At all.
Thank you for clarification. Outside of that, thank y'all for your attendance. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Askew.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hart?
I would like to thank a group of people that did something. Tina mentioned it, but the American Legion Post 339, right across the tracks over here in West Lafayette, does a great job in our community. Chauncey Fowler is the commander there, and he doesn't get paid a dime, but they put on a great event along with the Lafayette High School Junior ROTC last weekend up at the Civic Center. That was a great event, and a lot of people in this community put a lot of things into things and expect nothing in return. So people like that, I really appreciate both Chauncey and the Post, and also the high school for putting that on. Mr. O'Neill spoke to us a month ago about property taxes. And, you know, we don't do everything right up here. You know, y'all come and throw rocks at us every minute, and that's okay. That's what we sit here for. But on property taxes, from the last 8 years, both under sole commissioner Shannon Whitfield, then under this board that's sitting, well, 3 of us are sitting here tonight. Over the last 8 years, on average, the property taxes in the county have gone up 0.4% per year. Now, what else in your life has gone up less than that? Your milk, your eggs, your gas. So I feel like that's pretty good. I think Robert Blakemore, Mark Askew, and myself worked with Robert Stoltz and also Shannon to work on that. And Angie, I met with her about this week. We're striving to do that again because it's important for us as Robert called us, a governing body, to make sure we do that. And those are actual numbers. Those are true numbers. Joe pulled them from me off the state report, off the state tax digest. If you average all those out, it's 0.4% a year, less than 0.5% a year. The average person's property taxes have gone up. So I would like hope Mr. O'Neill's watching. I got all that data. I can show it to him, but I would like to commend the people that are serving here with us now, that did serve with us to help do that.
And I'll add real quick, I
Yes.
did talk to Mr. O'Neill on the phone
Okay.
about it too, because I said to him I would call him, I did. So.
Okay, well, good.
Mr. Wilson?
Appreciate all the first responders, all the county employees working hard every day, and everybody that come out. My number's on the website. If you need to contact me, if you're in my district, I'll get back to you and meet with you if I need to, and see if we can work together, do what we can. Thank y'all.
Is there a need for executive session? Okay, hearing none, then I will officially adjourn our meeting. Thank you very much.